This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Humanity, look how far you've fallen.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and fury of anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
You know, I knew when I heard that Amazon was going to do Lord of the Rings that something fucked up was going to happen. And what have we got? What have we got? Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings? Really? Nudity coaches? Twitter posts of people going, oh, it's got to be woke and diverse. You're changing a man's work. That is what you are doing. You are destroying a man's work. Don't even tell me that you respect him. Don't tell me this isn't about Tolkien. Don't tell me that he was woke. You are destroying a man's work. That is all you are doing, is destroying a man's work. You are changing it into something it was never intended to be. Nudity in Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones in Lord of the Rings. That's not Lord of the Rings. That's Game of Thrones. If you want to make a Game of Thrones clone, make a Game of Thrones clone. Don't take Lord of the Rings and turn it into Game of Thrones.
Absolutely. Arguably the father of modern fantasy, one of the greatest novelists to ever come out of the United Kingdom, known throughout the world, a linguist. Incredibly, he created his own worlds, he created his own languages, and all they want to do is make a cheap show with nudity and to try and replicate the quote-unquote success of Game of Thrones.
I'm literally sitting here shaking. My hands are freaking shaking because they want to take a man's work and completely change it to suit their modern day horseshit.
Indeed. And as the months have progressed, we've seen this checklist that keeps coming out. It started out, they were just going to change it a little bit, we're just going to have a little bit of a twist. It's going to be set before Lord of the Rings. It's going to be set, obviously, in Middle Earth. And then we had more and more information coming out about casting that they were looking for. And as you say, they're looking for people who are comfortable with full frontal nudity. Did anybody ask for this? I know, I certainly didn't.
I'm sorry, I had a lawnmower going by my window because I decided now to mow the damn yard. Oh God, I'm pissed.
So I take it you've been following this Twitter thread that's been going for the last 24 hours or so.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. I even responded to it. They have no idea what they are doing. And this is the chicken shit stuff I have been talking about since day one. They can't go out and create something of their own, because when it fails, they're going to get blamed for it. And in this case, when it bombs, and it's going to bomb, they're going to blame every single person out there that said this was going to be a giant pile of horseshit. They're going to call them all ists. They're going to call them all phobes. They're going to call them all Yahtzees. It's going to be Star Trek and Star Wars all over again, because they have to have someone else to blame when their bullshit rolls craps. When they roll craps on this one and it goes all down the drain, $500 million down the drain, they've got to have someone to blame, and they're going to blame everyone out there that loves Tolkien's work and said, no, nudity doesn't belong in Lord of the Rings. You are completely disrespecting that and trying to use Ian McKellen as a shield. No one brought up anything when he played Magneto. Everyone knew he was out. He was out of the closet. Everybody knew who he was. Everybody knew what his orientation was, and no one cared when he played Magneto. No one cared when he played Gandalf. You will not use Ian McKellen as a shield. That man is an icon. That man is a treasure. He is a treasure in every nation on this earth. That man is a treasure. Don't you dare use Ian McKellen as a shield.
Yes. And following this Twitter thread that's been unfolding over the day, once that failed and they were told by multiple people that this isn't the case, nobody said that because Ian McKellen is gay that they had a problem with it. The casting for the Lord of the Rings films was spot on. They couldn't have got a better cast to play these characters. And when that failed, they then tried to define the term woke, which was kind of hilarious. A word that they were quite happy to throw around. But when they were challenged on it, they then couldn't define what it was that they called woke.
And these losers on this Lord of the Rings fan site are going back and deleting everything they put up because they've been ratioed to hell. Every argument they've used has fallen through the cracks. Everything they put up is nothing but horseshit. 22 hours ago, I responded and said the people that keep screaming about representation are the biggest problem here. No one gave a shit that Ian McKellen was gay because he brought Gandalf to life. That man is the embodiment of Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Grey.
Yes, absolutely. And it's worth pointing out as well that this isn't even an official site. This is a fan site that has gone after the fans. I haven't seen anything come out of the official Amazon site, because there is one, obviously. They have their own Twitter based for this show, but this is all coming from theonering.net.
And hello, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't greet you all when you came in here. I am losing my shit at the moment. I am losing my shit. No one gives a damn what anyone's sexual orientation is today. And that is all that is being pushed. That is every narrative that is being pushed, and no one gives a damn what people's sexual orientation is today. And Mexican Iron Man with $20 super chat. I'm livid over this. By the way, Gary is being hit by Twitter mobs. Everybody, stand up for Nerdrotic. Stand up for Gary. This is the time where you call in the cavalry and you stand up for the people that have been speaking up and speaking their minds. Mexican Ironman says, Valhalla assemble. If Sparta is so special, why can't she zap the Mexican lawnmower guy? Sounds like Mexican Ironman is still needed at Valhalla. Well, from my understanding, Mexican Ironman, she must have a little chat with you. So we will find out. Thank you so much for the skull, brother. And Lightsaber 328, the man. Everything sucks now, but I'm not going to waste my time on manga and anime since soon that will be woke. In words of Darth Maul, you're all going to burn. We're all going to die. You don't know what you're doing. Japan is fighting vehemently to keep manga and anime the way it is. It's the US that is trying to come out with its own manga and anime to rival Japan's, and that will never happen. We stand strong with Japan as they protect. They had to go to their government and get protective rights for their art because it is wanting to be changed by Western society. These people that are out there screaming that cultural appropriation, pointing their finger at you, you can't do this, you can't say this, you can't wear that, you can't represent this, are the ones that are trying to change a country's art so it better suits their narrative.
Absolutely. Loki, I have a question.
Yes.
So we were talking about Serena McCallan. Would it be cynical of me to think that they brought his sexuality up because we've just entered Pride Month and used that as a shield?
Yes, that is the whole point. Yes. That this was their let's go after everything month. You know what? You know what's funny? Presidents, people of history, they get a day. They get a day. Christmas, we have a day. Hanukkah, we have a day. Kwanzaa, you get a day. This, you get an entire month. This is all pandering. It's all pandering. I saw a damn picture. I wish I'd saved it. I almost did on Twitter earlier today, where they had that Cultural Pride Company Month, where they had the Wayland Yutani symbol in rainbow. They had all these evil corporations from the movies in corporate Pride Month. And then that's what it is. That's what we are walking into.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It'll last a month and then gone.
Yeah. 8 days. Sorry. Project Story Time. Happy day to you, Dinosaur. It's not a happy day for us. Not watching Lord of the Rings show.
Nope. No.
This is Star Trek all over again. And that's what it's going to be. They want to make a clone of something, and it's ours now. It's ours now. It's all ours now. Kwanzaa's 9 days. Thank you, Kiwi Chow. You get my point, though. It's not a damn whole month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know exactly what you mean. But as you say, Lord of the Rings has been a staple for so long. People love these books. They know the lore, and this is what it boils down to. They do not want to follow the law. They want to use an IP, as they always do, and then twist it into something that it isn't, or something that it should never be.
And a perfect example from Soul Assassin. Didn't know about Ian McKellen's sexuality when the films came out. Didn't care because he's an amazing actor and portrayed Gandalf amazingly. I didn't know in X-Men, but I knew in Lord of the Rings because I'd been keeping track of him because he played such a wonderful Magneto.
He did. He is an amazing actor, and for them to throw him under the bus, basically, to say that there were trolls out there 20 years ago saying that Ian McKellen couldn't be Gandalf because he is gay, was disingenuous to Ian McKellen. People have found this post that they're talking about, and it was from some random chat stream online.
And suddenly the whole world was against Ian McKellen. No.
Yeah.
No.
They've painted everybody with
No.
a broad brush.
Nope. Lies, misinformation, and slander. Lies, misinformation, and slander. That is what all this is about. And Revenant FC, give us a 1 in chat, everybody. If you stand with Gary over at Nerdrotic, give us a 1 in chat. Everybody loves Ian McKellen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this thing I heard about Arwen. No one knew about any of that until after the movies came out. Nobody knew about any of that. No evidence was ever provided that she was constantly harassed and called all these names. Nobody knew about that. Bags and bags of letters going into to New Line about how they had to get rid of Arwen in a battle scene that no one even knew she was in.
Yes, I remember that story.
No one tried to take down Ian McKellen.
No, they didn't. But who they have tried to take down is anyone with a dissenting opinion, as they've proved in the last 24 hours. And this is only going to get worse as we get closer to the release of this show.
They will continue to call us Yahtzees. They will continue to call us ists. They will continue to call us phobes. I have heard so much stuff. Oh, Disney's changing. Disney's going to change. Cruella convinced them, blah, blah, blah. No, none of this is changing. None of this is changing. It's just going to keep getting worse. And when these people out there start to lose light, when they start to lose the spotlight, when the studio goes, you know what, we don't really care about you anymore, which they will, do not reopen your wallets, guys. Mm-hmm. Do not reopen you. Remember these events. Remember what these people did. Remember how these studios treated you and talked to you. Do not forget that.
Yes. Loki, may I read out the tweet that kind of kicked this off?
Yes.
Okay, so this came from yesterday. So they said, listen, we've been dealing with homophobic comments for decades and it's still wrong. Whatever toxic arguments are being said now about Lord of the Rings fandom and adaptations is the same trash that said Ian McKellen was the worst affront to Tolkien legacy ever. #pride.
Nobody said that. Nobody. Everyone loved Gandalf. Mm-hmm. Everyone loved Gandalf. And you know what? You know what I'll say to prove that? I grew up with a guy. You want to know what a phobe really acts like? I grew up with a guy in school that hated homosexuality in every way, shape, or form. He hated it. And he didn't care that Ian McKellen was gay. He was Gandalf. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. These people that are running around acting like this, they have no idea what it is like to be treated like this. They have no idea what it is like to really be under the gun and be treated like this. It's all verbal sewage. Woe is me. Cry bullies. Wham. Nobody runs around beating people like that in the stream, or just ask Juicy Smollett, the guy from France.
Yes.
I was attacked by 2 MAGA guys. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I remember that unraveling pretty damn quick. Yes. Mm-hmm. But this they call themselves a fan site, but they set out to attack fans. This was a whole long thread where they basically connected a load of tweets together. It went on to say, cogent, respectful debate on Tolkien is always welcome, but homophobic, racist, misogynistic trash is always a case for banning. It's not what Tolkien fandom is, wants, or welcomes. We used to be able to ban in the era of message boards and IRC, but in the era of social media, the platforms can't keep toxicity out of our community. We can't mute and block, but we can mute and block, but that's only for this account's feed. Twitter is not a community simply because it lacks anti-troll tools. Nasty people still show up in replies because of their toxic friends subtweeted us.
And Gologo13, aka Brandon the Infinite Wolf, $2 super chat. Amazon Lord of the Rings verdict guilty. Sentence headshot. And I'm sorry if you can hear all that shit going on in the background. Of course, I jump on here to do this, and I've got yard work going on. These people are going to ruin another franchise. Keep your books, keep your original movies, because that's what it's going to come down to, is them ruining another franchise as they insert current day political pandering into your entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
All I care about is they have the best person for the job. No one cares what their sexual orientation is, as long as it doesn't involve the little ones. And no one cares what their political ideology is, as long as they make good entertainment. We want good entertainment. Why do people care? Why do people care about Lord of the Rings? Because it affected them. They read it when they were kids. They read it as an adult. They watched the movies. They played the games. They lost themselves in this world.
They did. And
now you're going to fundamentally change that world. You're going to have people running around naked, half naked. You've got sexuality coaches that are you comfortable? Are you comfortable being okay? Let's get an extra and we'll just superimpose her face on the extra. And the Dag Outlaw, their identity revolves around making people feel sorry for them, feeling angry for them, and rallying around them because they cannot stand on merit. No talent, no character. And no real, I'm waiting on the next part. No real accomplishments lead to such a deep inferior complex that they need to force others to feel for them and have a forced compassion for them. These people are damaged and desperate for attention. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well said, Adega. But let me ask you, Loki, as a fan, how are you feeling at the moment? Because we know how deep your knowledge of Lord of the Rings goes.
This isn't Lord of the Rings. This is a Game of Thrones clone. You can, again, this is just like Star Trek. You can slap the name on it. Doesn't mean it is what you're saying it is. I believe it was Peter Jackson. And correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, because I'm sure someone out there knows, but I believe Peter Jackson said, I have kept all my own views and all my own shit out of this to respect the work that Tolkien did on these stories. I have kept all my own ideology and politics and everything out of it. Of course, I'm
paraphrasing a little bit,
yes,
but no,
I'm paraphrasing. But that's what he said.
Yeah. And that's why these are classed as probably the greatest fantasy trilogy ever made. Yeah, thank you, Project Storytime. Oh my god.
And yes, Happy Dinosaur, without respect, we reject. What have they done? They ran damn near half the fan base out of Star Wars. People that had been Star Wars fans their entire lives. They just booted them to the curb. Star Trek booted them to the curb. Lord of the Rings. Nothing is changing. $500 million on a Game of Thrones clone to fight HBO.
How much do you think that this is going to cost? Because this is just an estimate. I don't think they're ever going to really release the actual cost of this show, especially if it tanks.
I'm guessing with the show, if the show itself, let's say the show itself runs $100 million over budget, which I bet it will be more. You're talking advertising, press tours, cast interviews. You're talking probably close to $1 billion.
That's insane.
That's that they did worse with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. But again, you've said it time and time again, and so have many other people. It's the fans that keep these IPs going. It's the fans that, when there isn't content, still go back and read the books, they play the games, they watch the films.
Latino Slant, the little Twitterati groups have gone after Gary from Nerdrotic. They have gone after other content creators, just some guy, as they have tried to defend Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, as they want basically their own representation in Lord of the Rings. They want to subvert the work that Tolkien did. They don't care about Tolkien. They don't care about the work he did. Amazon has said they are making a Game of Thrones like Lord of the Rings. They are going to have nudity. They are going to have sex. They are basically making a clone of Game of Thrones, and they're going to use the Lord of the Rings name to do it.
Where does the fault lie, though? Because we know in the past that I'm trying to get the super chat. Sorry.
Timon Flip with the $2 super chat. Nerd culture going mainstream was a huge mistake. Yes.
Yes, it was.
I said that. It was a couple of seasons after Bang Bang started. I said, this is the worst shit ever. This is going to lead to so much horse shit. And everybody was like, oh my God, we love Big Bang Theory. And I was like, no. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
And yeah, brother, that's not Lord of the Rings. And I have, so far, I have kept my mouth shut. But after the shit that has gone down in the past 24 hours, I can no longer keep my mouth shut. That is why I'm on right now at 4 o'clock instead of getting ready for my show with the Dega, which will still be on tonight.
What I was going to ask is, where does the fault ultimately lie? We know that in the past, the Tolkien Society has held a really tight rein on the IP. If the Tolkien Society said that they didn't want something to happen in regards to Lord of the Rings or anything to do with Middle-earth, then it would never happen. Now, since we lost Christopher,
yes,
things seem to have rapidly gone downhill. So does the blame ultimately lie with them?
Yes. That you have a society that's one job. The entire reason for its existence is to protect this man's work. And all this shit started when they made that Tolkien movie. Because they kept his religion bare in that movie. And I want to tell you something. Lord of the Rings was deeply embedded. The ideas were deeply embedded from the World War World War One
Mm-hmm.
and his religion.
Yes.
Gandalf rising from the dead and becoming Gandalf the White. Huh. He has risen. I'm not even a Christian or a Catholic. And I know where he got his info from. And I respect that. I respect that the man drew from his experiences, his culture, and his life. And now they want to destroy that man's legacy.
I think it would be safe to say that if J.R.R. Tolkien was alive today, he would be horrified by the premise of this show. It would not be going ahead.
It's Larry, it is supposed to be the Tolkien Society's mission to protect his work, and they're not going to do it.
I think I've told this story before. A few years ago, I was at a show with Discworld, and on one of the displays was actually a letter that had been written to Terry Pratchett from J.R.R. Tolkien. The Tolkien Society was so adamant that this should not be photographed. It was under glass, and they had a guard standing next to it. That's how protective of anything to do with Tolkien that they used to be. Anything else you could photograph, but this letter, off bounds.
And Happy Dinosaur 8000, I don't think they have any control over it any longer. It is the society's job. It is the Tolkien Society's job to protect his work. And if they don't do their job, it's going to get run over. It's going to get changed. It's going to get wiped away. And it is the next Star Wars, the next Star Trek. It's exactly what we have been watching. The complete disregard and disrespect. And anyone who says that protecting the lore and protecting this man's work is they're out of their damn minds.
Mm-hmm. They claim to be honoring Tolkien, but all they're doing is rewriting history to suit themselves.
And their own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, all those tweets that I'd been responding to, unavailable. This tweet is unavailable. Thank you that I quote tweeted it.
Yep. They got ratioed to hell on Twitter and decided that they're going to delete a bunch of the tweets.
If you have no respect for the work of a talented writer, don't use his work. Make something of your own. Oh, wait, that's right. You're too afraid you will be blamed if it fails. It's the exact same reason why they're changing Superman. It is the exact same reason. They spouted it out clear as day. We can't wait to create new characters and make them popular. We have to take the mainstream ones and completely change them.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's the dumbing down of something that should be celebrated. It's made a cheap cash grab out of a amazing book series.
And Psychodor of 9 with a $2 super chat. Third generation after Genius just got greedy. Andrew 46 and 2. Destroying a society's mythology is a step toward totalitarianism. Larry, billion-dollar corporation destroying another icon of storytelling. And Watto the Toydarian with a £2 super chat. Sir McKellen for the win. Oh, and hello, Purple One.
Hello, Watto.
I'm a Toydarian. Only money.
Is it safe to say that this TV series has been plagued with problems since it's been announced? I mean, we had only a couple of weeks ago one of the actors from Mortal Kombat, for example, saying that they need more Asian representation.
Yes.
Pretty sure he was just angling for a job, but
Well, hell, how long ago did we cover the Predator story? The
Hmm.
Comanche Princess Predator story. That just happened to be the day that Loki's power went out. Months ago. Months ago. And it's just now becoming a sticking point. Why? I saw the writing on the wall. You see the writing on the wall. As soon as they say, get them naked, Game of Thrones, we'll have dragons, we'll have this. That's all they care about. And Yvonne Solomon, lore is one of the main reasons fans fall in love with a franchise. Exactly. Just ask Star Wars. Just ask the what is now Legends. The moment the lore is broken or retconned or contradicted, fans have a right to reject it.
They do, absolutely. And that is what the fans are doing. But as we are doing that, this is where we are being called ists and phobes and Yahtzees for turning our backs on something that we love, that we don't want to see desecrated.
And that's exactly what they are going to do. Dead Man Walking 55, they'll continue pushing to destroy what they don't like, especially when the so-called protectors don't defend the lore, but go to get along. Who's to stop them? Nobody. Nobody. And how long before the original copies of those books and the media is destroyed and replaced? They're already doing it with television. They're already doing it with movies. How long before the books that we know and love, the stories we know and love, are replaced? They were already doing it with comics. They're already going into comics and retconning things and changing them in digital editions. So, oh, well, this is the way it was. How long? How long before they change the books to suit their political ideology?
It'll happen. And when this TV series comes out, they will re-release the books with new covers, probably with the new cast on the front covers. So anyone not familiar with these books will think this is how it should be. Valhalla, I urge you to go get these books, but get the oldest copies that you can find and put them on your shelf.
Yes. I have what is commonly called by collectors the big book. It's the big red Lord of the Rings book that has the Hobbit. This is one book. It has the Hobbit and it has the trilogy in it.
Nice.
It's called the Big Red Book. And it has all four books in it. Keep your books, keep your DVDs, keep your Blu-rays, keep everything that you can possibly keep and keep your hands on, because they're going to change it. Lucas already did that. Lucas did it 20 years ago. And what did the outcry do? Absolutely nothing. And he said he was changing little things. Like Han shot first. Little things.
Yes, and this is coming from, the actual creator. With Lord of the Rings, this is coming from people that have no investment other than monetary in this IP. At the end of the day, Amazon, all they want is to make a profit. And if they're going to do this by making a clone of Game of Thrones, then so be it. They do not care about the fans. We can't stress this enough. If you're a fan of this book series, they do not care about you. Incidentally, there's actually a petition that's just been put up to remove the nudity from the Lord of the Rings series.
It was Bob Gale, Neil Canton, and Robert Zemeckis that got the Netflix thing changed, Yvonne. It was the two producers and the original director that got that changed. Believe it or not, it wasn't the fans. The fans may have had an uproar about it and made a big deal about it, but it was you will not change this. They will not, those big three will not let Back to the Future be changed.
I don't even want to think what they would have done to Back to the Future had that not have happened.
That they want to change everything to bring it into present day. Stop watching remakes. Don't watch any more remakes. The origin stories that they're throwing out there, like Cruella, all they want to do is change your perception. That's all they want to do. Oh, poor Cruella. Poor Cruella. This and that happened to her, and it had to do with Dalmatians. That's why she hates Dalmatians. And she's got the future written on her face. Suck a big fat one, Disney. She was an evil bitch for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they seem to be neutering any villains that we used to have. I'm so sick of this whole idea of a sympathetic villain. They did this with Harley Quinn.
Yes, they did this with Harley Quinn.
And we all know how well Birds of Prey went.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Harley Quinn hiding behind a mountain of coke in an evidence room and going, yeah, supercharged. No, she didn't need anything like that ever. She was naturally nuts and had her own energy. They are those who would destroy history. These are days and the times of modern book burning. To destroy ideas and beliefs to justify their weakness is their end goal, attempting cover in sympathy. And again, I could not have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
They will continue to do this until the studios turn their backs on them. Let me tell you something. When they do not be there. Oh, it's all over. Oh, back to normal, because that is what they are going to do. They are going to pander to an audience they think they need. And when they are going broke and they finally decide, well, we're you know what? We have got to turn things around. Do not go back to them like the abused girlfriend and say, it's okay. We still love you.
Mm-hmm. It'll be better next time.
It'll be better next time. We know, because they're just going to do it again and again and again. Chris Persia with $10 Canadian super chat. They shouldn't have to need a change.org petition to remove nudity from Lord of the Rings. Respect canon does not mean anything other than respect the source material and the vision of the creator. But that's an ist and an ob and a Yahtzee argument now, Chris Persia. By saying that, that makes you the worst thing in the world. Yep. If you're not going to honor the original creator's vision and the original creator's dream, make something else. They cannot do that, though. And they've admitted it. They've admitted why they will not make new characters to replace old characters, because no one wants to read it. No one wants to read it. No one wants to hear about it.
No, there's also, they don't want to fail with new projects. They'd rather fail with an IP that's already established, and then they can throw it back at the fans and say, you didn't support it, so it's your fault.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
We seem to be running out of IPs, boss. Never did I think that we would get to the day where Lord of the Rings was going to be controversial.
They've run out of ideas. They've run out of ideas because they will not take a chance and make something new. They will not take an opportunity to make something new, because when it fails, it's their fault. And I don't know if you can hear that or not. Yay, wind blower guy. Thank you, leaf blower guy. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Don't blame Loki. No, can't blame Loki for this one. No, this is firmly Amazon, and this is firmly in the blame being put on the Tolkien Society for allowing this mess to happen in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dead Man Walking. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. They are Alphabet Squadron. They, them. Yes, I know.
Hmm.
I know. And it's going to seep into everything they've got, which it has. It's down in the roots of it. And Yvonne Solomon, they won't make new characters because that takes effort. They put in effort when there's an IP with the name recognition and fan base.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty much anything with clout. Exactly, which is why they did go after Star Trek. It is why they went after Star Wars. It is why they are now going after Lord of the Rings, because the previous IPs, the fans have turned their backs on them because they've done such a fucking terrible job when they did gain control. And when this show bombs, which I'm going to say now, I think it will, given the controversy, and they're just going to double down and keep doubling down until it releases. We will be blamed. Sorry, guys. We are all ist, phobes, and Yahtzees for not supporting it.
Because of the name, Luis. Because of the name. That is why. They don't care if they alienate the fan base. If you listen to Cameron Paja, the last time he was on my show, the meetings they have, it's like a cult. When they go into the creator room, when they go around that table and they get up and they do the they, them, thou thing, it's a cult. Do you know the secret password of they, them, thou? Use your pronouns and speak the password. Speak the password and enter. And that is exactly what they are doing. It is their job. It is their job to take the things that people love and bring them into the modern day with all the bullshit baggage crap that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm. It is literally destroying anyone's ability for escapism now. You know, there is no possible need for modern day politics in a fantasy setting, especially one that's high fantasy like Lord of the Rings. There is no correlation unless it's forced.
And I hope I say this correctly. Illuminane, Imakara, it's the most expensive ego wank in entertainment history. You hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm. Nailed it. Absolutely.
And Psychodorf now with the $5 super chat. Tolkien got me through junior high school. Same with me, brother. Same with me. Perhaps got me through high school.
Mm-hmm. Same. I grew up reading Tolkien. Where I live, a lot of the places that he drew inspiration from.
Do you know where you would find me at lunch? I love that Loriana does the lunch table because I never sat at the lunch table. I was out under a tree reading a book, eating my lunch. And 9 times out of 10, it was one of the Lord of the Rings books, or it was a Star Wars book. It was either Lord of the Rings or it was Star Wars.
But it was a world that you could get lost in, wasn't it, Loki? It's something that you could go back to time and time again and still enjoy. And to see something that you love and care about so deeply and just be pulled apart for cheap entertainment breaks your heart.
And Pad S, it's worse, Loki. It's a religion to a group of empty people with a need to be important and control.
Mm-hmm.
And stories by Irish, welcome stories. Welcome, Irish. Tolkien, Rowling, Jordan, Lucas are inspirational world builders for every freaking fantasy writer.
Yep.
Do you know how many people want to write the next Lord of the Rings? Do you know how many people have tried? You know, just go to the fantasy section and look at the fantasy. There's shit I've never even heard of. There's a wall of books I've never even heard of. Why? Because people want to be Tolkien. People want to be Lucas. People want to be Rowling. Well, I always don't agree with Rowling. Harry Potter, yes.
She introduced a whole generation of kids and brought them back into loving books again.
And fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And hail that Star Wars guy. I've said this before and I will say it again, ladies and gentlemen. When the worm turns, do not go back to these corporations that are ruining our entertainment, that are ruining things we have loved our entire lives. We stand up for people like Gary over at Nerdrotic. We stand up for Just Some Guy. We stand up for Jeremy. We stand up for Az. We stand up for Ethan Van Sciver. Why? Why? Because they're the ones saying this stuff can't continue. They are the ones saying someone's blown a head gasket over at Amazon. They are the first line in this battle against this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They call it a culture war, and it really is. And what we're fighting for is what we love.
Point of personal privilege, AI privilege. So Javier Joaquin, the AI in my Mexican Iron Man suit, heard that there's some new hot green chick in town. He wants to know if he can uplink to her. No, absolutely not. She will zap his ass and then skyhorn you across the room, Mexican Iron Man. No. But thank you for the $10 super chat. Skull!
Oh. She's feisty.
They've blown a head gasket. They put a rod into the exhaust manifold. Yes, yes.
Who ever heard of putting a banana in a tailpipe? Nah, 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 nah. Oh, they fell for the old banana in the tailpipe. Nah, 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 nah.
Loki, I've got a feeling that this is going to be one of those stories that we're going to keep coming back to, and it's just going to keep escalating until this show finally airs. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. And SRB, yeah, it's in the hands of people to think they are better because they're woke.
Yep, holier than thou.
Holier than thou, and they live in today. I exist today, and it's mine now. It's mine. It's all mine.
Yes, it all comes back to it, doesn't it? It's that it's not yours now. It's ours. But to make it ours, we're going to make everything different. So what you knew and what you loved doesn't matter anymore. And they wonder why people get so damn angry.
Well, we are angry.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I'm physically shaking when I got on here to do this. Why do I keep getting on here every day? You guys, all of you, every single one of you, all of you out there. You guys are the reason why I come back here every day and I do this. I think I would have honestly lost my mind by now and gone crazy if it wasn't for all of you, if it wasn't for this community, if it wasn't for all of you people. I think I would have lost my shit already. I can't even say what I'd be doing. There'd be some cop with a megaphone. Son, come down here. We've got your mother with some potato salad.
We'd be buying Loki a nice jacket with very long sleeves and some padded wallpaper.
Yeah.
But as you say, and as you've always said, this is why we fight. This is why we call attention to these stories. This is why on Twitter, don't back down to the Twitter mob, even though they will be used as a weapon against you. It was heartening actually to see on Twitter the ratio that this fan site got and the backlash, which is why they've now deleted all these tweets. But it'll happen again. People have very short memories when it comes to things like this.
In Project Storytime, I will quote a man who was named after the man who created the atomic bomb. You're goddamn right. I will. Yes.
Nice.
And Larry, no twat in my life. I need it for networking. And occasionally
Yeah.
I get pulled into some bullshit.
It's a useful tool, but people get it confused with real life. And unfortunately, in the last, 18 months, would you say, with what's happened, people seem to live more and more on Twitter and think that this is an actual reflection of society. It's not.
No. And this is a very small portion of the world saying it must be our way or no way.
It comes down to that vocal minority again, which, funnily enough, the toxic fans, in quotations, were always called the vocal minority.
Yep.
Funny that.
Hound those fuckers to the end of time. No quarter. Full counterattack. And Dead Man Walking 55 with a $10 super chat. I don't enjoy reading, but I invested time and effort and money into the EU. Now they are cherry picking from it since they are intellectually broke. Enjoyed reading The Lord of the Rings, though, and these changes will be tragic.
Agreed.
They are going to ruin an intellectual property yet again for their own base bullshit, for their own political ideology, for their own woke nonsense. Yes, absolutely. And thank you so very much for the super chat, Dead Man Walking 55. Thank you all for the super chats. And I have a feeling this is exactly what is going to happen to the new Lord of the Rings series. Purple, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Skull! Guys, we've hit our hour. Do not let this go. Stand up for Gary. Stand up for just some guy. Stand up for the content creators that are calling out this garbage. Stand with them. Do not be afraid. Use your own voices to say, we are not going to take this shit. We hold our ground in the shield wall and we fight because that is what we do. And we will not stand down because we love our IPs just that damn much.
Yes, exactly. Do not kneel, Valhalla.
And Lady Miss with the $5 super chat just got here. What's happened to Lord of the Rings? It's bad. It's Game of Thrones bad, Lady Miss.
It's going to hell in a handbasket.
And thank you so very much for that $5 super chat, Lady Mist. I am going to throw one more skull out here real quick. Skull! Oh! And yes, Spike and Madness, we have no choice now but to brave the cold dark of Moria. And we fight until the red sun rises. Everyone, we will be back. I will be back in an hour and 45 minutes to run with the Dega Outlaw. I hope you have a better day than I have had dealing with this horse shit. We will not stop. We will not be afraid. We will not go blindly into the cold dark of Moria. We will do so with our swords in our hands, with our shields held high, and our heads held just as high. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Have a great day, Valhalla. Thank you. And thank you, Loki.
Thank you, Purple, for hopping on here with me. See you guys then. Skål!
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.